Hello, good evening, everybody, or good day to you, or good night to you, wherever you are in the world. I'm Maxine Winter, and this is Moments with Maxine. This evening, I am going to be talking about breasts, and this is something that I decided to talk about because 82% of people in a local survey had, I think there's about 2,000 people that had done this survey, found it uncomfortable to talk about changes in their breasts. So I have personally recently experienced some changes in my breasts. And I thought, well, I'm going through this process and maybe it would be really beneficial for people to understand how to check their breasts and what it is that they need to do in order to check their breasts. Because at first I was really, really like, I just didn't even want to admit that there was really an issue. And obviously we go through different hormonal changes, especially us ladies, throughout the month. And I just put it down to that I was going through that time of the month and I forgot about it and I didn't think about it. And then, hi, Anthony, thanks for joining in. Hi, Mum, thanks for joining in as well. And I checked like a couple of weeks after I noticed something strange in my breasts. I'm glad you check on them, Anthony. I'm glad you check on them. Hi, Mike. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. And the lump was still there and it felt really, really unusual. And I was really like, whoa, hold on a minute. And then I got my mum to check and she was like, oh, you need to go to the doctors and get that checked out. And then I kind of made out like, you know what, it's nothing. It's going to be absolutely fine. And I still, do you know what? I do believe that it's going to be okay. However, I then went on, men have it too. Yeah, it's so true, Anthony. Men do have it too. And this is why I put in the title that is actually something that I want men to listen to as well. And how to actually check. There's a website called it's called CoppaFeel. So if you just put in Google CoppaFeel, then it will come up. And I'll just put that up on the agenda for you now so you can actually see what it is where you can actually go and get that information from. So CoppaFeel, just going to show that now. Bear me 1 second. Oh, I've clicked on that by mistake. Right, so CoppaFeel. If you go on CoppaFeel, that will really, really help you to be able to show you, and that's men and women, how to check your breasts. And some people might just think it's a certain area, but it's all the way up to like your collarbone area. And you also have to go like underneath your armpits as well, because there's like lymph nodes and everything like that underneath your armpits that connect to the breast area. So it's not just round your nipples or anything like that. Hi, Julian, thanks for joining in. And so I was like, oh my gosh, really sort of scared. And I put up a post, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, how do I get to the doctors? Well, that was what I was going to the doctors for. I was going to the doctors to check this lump in my breast. And what happens is when you go to the doctors, I don't know what it's like in other countries. So I know that Mike's watching this at the moment, so it might be different in America or different states in America or whatever. But when you go to the doctors here in the UK, what happens is the GP, they will examine both of your breasts and they will check to see the difference between each breast, because sometimes your breasts are not going to feel exactly the same. You've got sisters, you haven't necessarily got identical twins, right? And so they will check the differences between both the breasts, and they'll ask you certain questions. So they'll ask about your history and whether there's any sort of history of, you know, people in your family that may have had issues with their breasts or may have had cancer and things like that. And then what happens is they will decide whether to expedite you or put you on a fast track process. Within 2 weeks you'll see someone, or whether you will have like 4 to 6 week wait to go and see someone. And they fast tracked me, so I've been to the hospital, and it depends how whereabouts in the UK that you're living as to what they then do. And then when they see you, they will then make a decision as to what they need to do next. So the next part of the process would be to have a scan, and then what they do is they scan the breast area, and then they decide whether to take a biopsy. So a biopsy is just literally, it's like a needle. They'll put a needle into where the lump is, and then what they'll do is they'll take that out and they'll test it. And part of what they do is when they test that, sometimes I might put a local anesthetic, because, you know, they obviously want to make sure that you're not in any sort of discomfort or any sort of pain. But it's a needle, and then they just put it into the area, and then they test it, and then within 4 to 6 weeks they then come back and they give you the results of that biopsy. Obviously they've got to do testings and things like that before they come back to you. So yeah, so CoppaFeel, it's got all information on there. And when you're checking your breast, it's really, really important to they say that you should really check your breast, like, because I know obviously when you go in a shower or in a bath and you're in a hurry and stuff like that, you're just quickly washing, and you're not necessarily thinking about, okay, am I paying attention to my body, and what is it that I should look out for, and what differences should I consider. Obviously if there's like a change of size in your breasts, you know, it's you know, you need to think about that in terms of, okay, you know, because I know that when women are on their periods, sometimes that, you know, the breasts enlarge and stuff like that. So you also need to consider the hormonal balance in terms of the changes in size. It could be that one breast is bigger than the other. Is there a rash? You know, we do have lumps, like we do have lumps in our breast tissue. Some have more than others, but is there a change in the consistency of your breasts? And hi Tracy, thanks for joining in, thanks for coming in. And yeah, is there any changes with the lumps? Is the lump getting bigger? And it's just really, really important to keep a check on that, because then, you know, when you do have to potentially seek medical advice for that, you know, this is where it is and this is what's happened. And also you need to, you know, is there any pain? Do you have any pain going up into your armpit? Do you have any pain in your breast? And just really take that time to take care of yourself and look after yourself, really. Because is there any inverted nipples, or so there's lots of things that CoppaFeel will show you of how to check your breasts. There's also now, and this has only recently come out just last month. So in the last month in Superdrugs, there's around about 50 to 60 stores in the UK that do, you can go into those stores and you can go and get your breast, you know, there'll be a nurse there whereby you can actually get someone to support you to check your breast. Maybe, you know, GP appointments, really, really busy, or you're not quite sure whether you should go to the GP yet. It's a really, really good way of being able to access that. So if you just literally go on Superdrugs, they will be able to, you'll be able to put in your local postcode and ascertain whereby is the closest place. And if it's not close by, then please do seek out GP in relation to your breast. Be honest with the doctors about everything that's going on, and don't wait, like don't sit on it, because I know at times, and I don't know whether you've ever experienced that, but I know for a fact that sometimes you know that there's something going on, but you don't really want to admit it, and it's not necessarily the best way of going forward, because sweeping something underneath the carpet doesn't actually necessarily help the problem or the issue or what's going on. It doesn't actually change it until you actually start to take action to do something about it. And I don't even mean just checking your breast, I mean anything. You could have a lump anywhere. You could, and it's not even just about your body. And I think it is important for us to listen to our bodies. Sometimes it's a way of, you know, our body's telling you that you need to take time to rest, or, you know, have that health check, or seek out alternative solutions. And some of the shows that I'm looking to have in the future, we'll be looking at different alternative sources of, you know, health and well-being, as well as some different topics. But I just thought I'd come on today and share with you that actually, you know, I've had some changes in my breasts, and tomorrow I'm going to highly likely, well, I'll be definitely getting a scan and highly likely be getting a biopsy tomorrow. So I will update you all as to how it goes. But I am very much hopeful. I've been saying my positive affirmations, and that's really, really important. I've been listening to Brian Tracy recently, and he talks about like goal setting and being successful. If you've never heard of Brian Tracy, really, really highly recommend him. And I've been just giving myself some positive affirmations daily, saying that I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm successful. And that's part of why I just thought, do you know what, I need to share with you, because sometimes these things are difficult to talk about, and maybe this might help someone to go, do you know what, I haven't checked my breast, or I haven't, or there's this lump here, you know, not even maybe even in the breast area, it could be somewhere else, and I need to seek some medical advice about it. So yes, I'm just going to have a look at the comments. And yes, men have it too, which people don't talk about. It's so true. Men do have this, and it's so important as well. I think people just, you know, think, oh, this is a woman's issue, and actually this is an issue for men. So men, please do check your breasts too, yeah, have a CoppaFeel of them breasts, yeah. And yeah, thank you so much, Julia, thank you so much for the good luck wishes. I'll be absolutely fine. I literally I'm just I've got a positive vibe about it all. But I just thought that actually sometimes until you're in these situations, you don't think about doing these things, you know. So yes, thank you so much. This is a little bit of a shorter video than I anticipated, but there's not really much more that I need to say today on this subject matter. If there's something that, any questions that you want to ask, then please do. I have got some exciting stuff, well, not exciting, but more like educational stuff coming up about online safety for children and young people. And that's something that I really am passionate about, is that children don't get exploited or groomed online. So that's something that I think parents and those that look after children should be aware of. And that's something that I'll be sharing with you in one of the next shows. I've also spoken to this guy just yesterday, actually, and he was talking about how the importance of knowing about 5G and the potential health impacts that it can have on you, because it's a form of radiation. So there's lots of different shows that are going to be coming up very, very soon, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Stay blessed, CoppaFeel on them breasts, and I'll see you soon.